It's recording
Oh,
now?
good. Yes, I think I'm recording, right? Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, let's
Yes,
assume
I'm
it's
recording.
okay. Well, hello guys.
Yes, I'm recording. I'm recording. Yep.
This is Federico. I'm a president at the Kleros cooperative, and this is a new episode of our community call. This is June 14. So thank you all for being here. I think the main thing that happened this week, but I'm not sure the main, maybe for me was the main, is that we participated in a very cool conference that was organized by Blockchain Gov at the university in Florence, the EUI University, which is a university backed by the European Union. It's exclusively for PhDs. And the topic for this was blockchain and constitutionalism. So, as you know, we have a DAO, which is a different way to organize human activities. And you might have noticed that the DAOs have a bunch of what I would call governance challenges. I'm sure you are aware of a proof of humanity DAO experiment, but it's not the only one. I mean, that's just the one that we know from closer, but there is also MakerDAO, there's Aragon, there's a bunch more that, well, we're experimenting in having more decentralized decision-making processes, and well, lots of these experiments ended up in conflict, drama, and everything you know. So this conference gathered around 40 people, 40 experts from in general from the law and blockchain, and some of them mostly academics. I mean, there were people from top of my mind universities like Lawrence Lessig from Harvard. I mean, Lawrence Lessig is one of the, I mean, he's the all-time guru of informatics and the law. He's read his book Code 2.0. I mean, this must be from the 1990s, maybe. I mean, he has been researching all this since that time. So, of course, there was Primavera De Filippi, who was the host of this meeting. She's also at Harvard, and she's at Paris 2 as well. Then, well, people from our friends from RMIT, from Australia, which are, this is maybe one of the most important research centers in blockchain and governance in the world. This is where Jason Potts works. So Jason was there. And we also had Kelsey Naven, who is at Blockchain Gov as well. Who else? Jamila was there from RMIT. Jamila was there, by the way, as well.
Ellie, Rennie, ethnographer. Yeah. I mean, there were like a lot of people from very niche specialities, but it was amazing. And I'm very glad you and other participants seemed to enjoy it, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing. And also other people who are practitioners, like, for example, people from MakerDAO, others, well, I mean, of course, from Kleros, but people who are in the, so the goal was to like gather in the same place academics and practitioners to discuss what are the main challenges of blockchains and constitutions, how to improve, the governance systems of these DAOs, how to make the decision-making processes more robust, how to make them less prone to be attacked by, different kinds of attacks that might happen. So it's kind of an experiment on institution building stuff. So it was super interesting. Abir was also there. I mean, Abir, do you have any comment about the meeting at Florence? We were discussing just that.
It was pretty intense, and they could have done with half the number of sessions. It got a bit overwhelming at times, but yeah, it wasn't bad. It was pretty fun. I guess we learned a bit of stuff. Lots of opinions going around.
Yeah, it was intense. It was three full days, but basically, right, from 9 a.m. to like 7 or 8, I guess. So yeah, that was super cool, and it's super. I mean, we are super happy that I would say maybe half of the discussions that were held there included Kleros, basically, in some way or another. So yeah. So one of the goals of this conference is try to produce some, we could call it a handbook to build the constitutions for DAOs, which is a project that is being done by Blockchain Gov, and with some help from Kleros. As you know, we are interested in using Kleros for different elements of dispute resolution happening in DAOs. The most obvious use case here is what we sometimes call Supreme Court as a service, where you can use Kleros to resolve disputes in the sense of some governance proposal is contrary to the values or to the constitution of a DAO, and so you could have Kleros overturn this type of proposal. So this is what we are working on with the Blockchain Gov, and this is what we want Kleros to become, among other things, within the Web3 ecosystem. So yeah, this was a really cool step in that direction. So yeah, super interesting, super high-level discussions with super high-level people, researchers. So yeah, extremely happy about that. Then let me see. Regarding development, I don't know if Jean can speak, but maybe no, because he's not even there anymore. We are planning to do, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, we were doing, we did a presentation of VIA and our message bridge. We are now planning to show you quite soon. I'm not going to say the exact date, so maybe because if we are a bit late, then you will make more memes of me. But we are planning to do a new show of the progress made in the Kleros V2 court, including now the VIA bridge. So we want to show you that. Yeah, not very far from in the future, and after that there could be then some testnet show of Kleros 2.0. So it's coming. So super cool, and I'm going to leave let William do his little update now.
I don't have that much to report. I got some corrections back on some reviews back on an academic article we wrote on griefing factors a while back. I had gave a talk at ETH Dubai last year that had some of these themes, looking at like griefs in Kleros, delay griefs, clone funding griefs, but then also like griefs on other crypto economic systems, and like sort of to what degree we can have like new tools to think about like how griefs affect a crypto economic system or sort of a game in general. In the article I talk a lot about like how like the willingness of players to grief can like perturb the equilibrium of certain games. So anyway, I got some reviews back on the article. The reviews were largely positive, and they gave me a very short deadline to correct the things they wanted corrected. So I've been very busy with that. Other than that, we have some interesting experiments that we've been working on that I hope you'll hear more about soon to validate certain social choice theory designs we made that are discussed in the yellow paper. We have a part like our PhD student that's at Paris 2 has been working with like French universities to get like sort of a classic economic students participating in game theory experiments to validate these ideas.
Yeah, so that's the thing from research. So thank you, William. A super cool thing that is happening now. We are running a pilot with an exchange from Argentina, a quite big exchange called Lemon. I mentioned this in the past. We are helping them solve claims happening between users and the exchange. Situations like, some withdrawal of money sent to the wrong place, or situations like claims that typically consumer type of claims that happen in the context of exchanges, or what you would expect, consumer against a credit card company as well, this type of things. It's not a secret, and you might already have seen, if you have been paying attention, you might have seen that some cases are happening in the new court in the Gnosis chain. It's still even if it's no secret, it's still not announced yet because it's a test. We are trying to understand how Kleros can work with this customer, how it can solve the problems that they have, what are the points of friction, and very particularly as well, what is the cost at which Kleros can resolve these type of situations and claims. It's important, of course, this is a consumer kind of dispute, so it needs to be really competitive price-wise, right? So this is something that we are testing. We have already, I think, loaded two or three cases. If the customer here is happy with the results that they are getting, we will, hopefully scale this, which will probably get us lots of more cases for Kleros. This is a high volume, low value kind of setting, which is super exciting. And one of the main things for the Kleros 2.0 is that we have already shown you in, I think, one of the first presentations that JB did about the court, how more efficient it is. So Kleros 2.0 can solve claims at costs that are extremely, extremely competitive compared to alternative dispute resolution methods. And, it's kind of in the ballpark of what it costs to resolve a claim with some machine learning automated system, right? So this is something we are super excited about. It's still being tested. This is a big company, and if we can make this work, then we can expect important flow of cases, and as well possibility to replicate this type of setting into other customers. So this is something that we are super, super happy about. So that thing, so super important news from our side. Then we have, let me see. I don't know if Marcos, you want to also say something about business development, what we are up to?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm very bullish with Lemon integration. I think it can open the doors to all the Web2 world, and Kleros solving disputes for centralized exchanges or centralized marketplaces to help the disputes between users and the platforms. So yeah. And then we have some news. We have 3 Web3 projects integrating proof of humanity. The first one is called Unlock. Then we have Java Network, and then Polygon ID. And then we have a project from Chile that is a Web 2.5 project that is for sending money to other countries and is interested in a recognition of jurisdiction integration. So we are in touch with them. We are going to have a call this week.
Cool. Thank you, Marcos. Let me see, what else do we have? So we reviewed a bit of V2. As I mentioned, we will hold a new demo in a couple of weeks.
What we can add something about the Lemon integration for Spanish speakers. We are going to be receiving a few disputes in what's the name of the court? Non-technical court, right?
Blockchain no técnica in Spanish.
Blockchain no técnica. So yeah, again, we already received 2 or 3 disputes in 2 weeks, and what means a lot. So maybe we're going to be receiving a few more in the next weeks.
Yeah, so that's super cool. So we have that. Then we have, let me see. Well, then a bunch of a podcast recording. Spoke with a lawyer in IP. As you know, intellectual property claims are something we are quite bullish at Kleros, and there are lots of situations happening in the NFT market. You know, copyright infringement, people, falsifications of faking of issuers of tokens. So lots of things. We are discussing these types of claim situations with IP lawyers to see what is the best way for us to work here. So I did a podcast on that. Then have a bunch more podcasts lined up. Then let me see. Okay, we reviewed business development. We have the Marcos. Are we allowed to mention much about MetaMask? Yes, I think that's already out there, right?
I think that's something we should talk with Wagmian. I'm not sure. I'm not managing that stuff.
No, erase the past 30 seconds, please. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so no more business development news for now. Then research we covered. We covered.
Yeah. Let's leave something for the next weeks. We already mentioned Lemon integration, which is a big update for Kleros. Let's leave that stuff for the next community calls.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I don't think most of the news happened in Italy, at least for me. And then so I don't know if you guys have any question, or I don't know, Juan is there as well. Maybe Juan, if you want to say something. Juan, you were at the conference in Montenegro, I think, a few days ago.
Yeah, we were together with a beer on IF Prague.
Prague, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a DeFi summit, and then Adir was talking about Decentralized science, and I was talking about Kleros on IF Prague. I was really impressed by the talks on DeFi summit on the first day of the conference. I think it was like the best quality talks I have ever seen, like across conferences. Like I personally like DeFi and more degen products, and were really good. Like I love innovation. I met some mind-blowing projects. So yeah, like quite excited, very interested, and yeah, there's some noise out here, but it really blew my mind. Many people, amazing, useful for our treasury, and yeah, looking forward there will be some great news like outside Kleros that happened in the DeFi ecosystem this week, probably, that we're announcing in Prague. But yeah, like was an awesome experience. And yeah, I will share the recording of our talk like when it's available.
Cool. Thank you, Juan. And speaking of conferences, we are organizing everything for our annual
Not sure
meeting
if we are speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So we are organizing everything for our annual team meeting at Paris. There is the THCC conference starting in a month from now. So I'm having a talk there about the things I'm researching mostly now, which is DAO governance and constitutions. I'm super excited about this talk. It's about what we can learn from the history of politics and political philosophy and theory that can help us, create better governance systems for DAOs. Separation of powers, how to deal with the demagogues, trying to gather more power in a DAO, how to create the right political culture for people to be able to interact in a productive way. And so I have been doing lots of research about this, so it's super excited about that talk. Hopefully they will give me a good room to give it. So yeah, if we have that, then we are going to have a side event at the THCC as we do every year. And most importantly, we're going to have a football tournament that is now, I think we have like 12 teams already signed up. We are organizing that, the Kleros Cup. So
yes, we have 12 teams that are already confirmed. Maybe Juan can add something, but yeah.
Yeah, the idea is not to expand the tournament. Like the format is already scheduled, and because of the teams, there are like some other teams outside that want to participate. But yeah, we want to keep it simple, informal, and have like a nice tournament with great teams that are not announced yet, but are like big companies, and it will be awesome. And I think it's the first time a real and great soccer tournament will be held up in Paris. So, yeah, quite bullish for that.
12 teams is a lot. Maybe we can make 2 divisions for the next tournament.
I mean, as you know, Kleros is being, very much, half Argentinian, half French project. I mean, you would expect, this being very, strong in football, more the Argentinian side, as you know. And then for next winter in the Northern Hemisphere, we are planning to do a curling tournament in Toronto. So keep a...
I look forward to
that. Do you play curling, William?
Not really. I went once with some friends. We had like an outing, and it's really hard. Like it doesn't look all that complicated like on TV, but it's it's intense. Like the rock is already like really heavy, but guiding it at all with like the sort of ice melting brooms and getting it where you want to go is like really subtle.
Okay, we will think if it's going to be engaging enough for the crypto community to want to to see that. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe at some point some cricket tournament in India, right? So maybe. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for this week. Marcos, don't forget to take the screenshot for the POAPs because we are going to get very angry people otherwise.
Yes, I already took the screenshot, so it's fine.
Okay. Well, that's it, guys. Then I guess I see you next week. Okay.
Everybody.
Bye.
Hey, everybody.
See you, everybody.